It's surf champ time. Altered B seats in the house. Hello, Daniel. Welcome. Crumpy EM Doctor. Welcome. Rob Went. Welcome to the show. Transmission Arcade. We'll be seeing you soon in person. The Phil's Pinball. Always great to see you in the chat. One. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 83 of PinTech Live. And as you can see with our little overlay, it's our next Meet the Marco team segment. And with us is the wonderful Sarah Bouchette. She is our lead purchaser. She's the one that helps lead the team and get lots of parts, gets us all the parts. She works with Kyle a lot. Right there. There's Kyle. You guys remember him?
Sarah's my main number one homie at work.
They work together. They sit in the same cubicle area. Everyone in the chat says hello.
Hello.
How are you doing today, Sarah?
Doing great.
Awesome. Well,
they're out.
Well, Sarah, thanks for joining us, and tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell the audience how long you've been working at Marco Pinball and what you do, even though I kind of explained that, but you can go a little bit more into detail for it.
Yeah. So I've been working with Marco almost a year now. So in May, it'll be my 1 year anniversary. I started out actually in the warehouse and then got promoted to working with procurement. And so now I do lead purchasing, where I get to online shop all day long and make POs. And yeah, just it's a lot of shopping. I try to keep everything in stock as much as I can.
That's awesome. Yeah, I see your updates constantly. She's always working. Oh, people are sad that you cut your hair, Kyle, in the chat. Chris Pence is sad, but in a good way. Happy sad. You look very beautiful.
Thank you.
All right. Sarah, what did you do before joining Team Marco?
It was quite different than working with pinball. I built guns, so I built AK-47s.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. Wow.
And I was a paralegal for a law firm for a little bit and bartender.
Nice. What was your favorite one out of all of those?
I really liked working with the guns. That was a passion of mine for sure. But I like bartending a lot too. The legal stuff, not for me. I can't do that legal work. Not no more.
Oh, she can
Intense.
do everything.
Yeah.
Well, how did you find us? Like, how did you get into pinball and start working here?
So one of the girls that I bartended with actually started working out here, and she was like, "Hey, there's a position coming open. I know you're looking for like a less stressful job." I was like, "Yes, let me know." So I got an interview, and I've been here ever since.
That was Ashley, right?
Yeah, it was Ashley.
And Ashley has been on
yay.
this show before, and Ashley also is in customer service. You may have talked to her at some point. So
Yep.
we taught Ashley how to solder a few months ago.
Yep, that was a good episode. She did awesome too, by the way. Soldering is hard. I still need to practice more. That's awesome. So, Sarah, what is your favorite thing about working for Marco Pinball and working in the epic pinball industry?
It's definitely a fun job. Like I said, I get to shop for parts all day. So I see all kind of interesting parts. I like that it's a lot less stressful than my previous job too. It's more fun, laid back, and yet I get my job done. So
It's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, pinball is super fun. The stress level is fun. I'm glad it's not stressing you out. There's a lot of things going on constantly in the world of pinball, so it's cool that you're good at riding the waves
Yes.
with us. All right, so what's your personal goals for this year in the company, being a lead purchaser?
So I am already at like 95% of everything in stock or so. Yes.
Nice.
Goal is to be 99%. That is the goal, to get it here in stock, not just stuff on order, but in stock.
That's a hard goal. There's a lot of parts out there.
It's very hard. It's so hard to get so many things right now because of all the COVID stuff and the port problems. It's been very difficult. So I am pushing every day to try and get things here.
Thank you. Yeah, we all appreciate it for sure. Everyone in the chat saying too. And if you guys in the chat have any questions for Sarah, feel free to drop them in and I will read them out to her. And while we wait for that, the age-old question, what is your current favorite pinball machine and why?
So, because I am new to pinball, I've played a lot in my little bit of time that I've been in pinball. Being that I got to go to the Southern Fried Gaming Show, yes, and the Texas show, and there's several places around here that I've been able to go and play different games. My favorite ones though are more like the Addams Family or Scared Stiff. Like those are a lot of fun to me, and I really like the artwork on them.
Nice. So like the kind of the spookier games,
Yeah.
maybe is what I'm sensing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. And just to let everyone know, Sarah is coming with us to Texas Pinball Festival this month. So a lot of you will get to meet her in person and show her lots of new games, or find her and point out where all the other scary horror type games are. You'll have to play Spooky's Halloween if you haven't played that one yet. And I don't know, what's some more horror
we gotta play
themed games, Kyle?
We got to play Dracula.
Oh, Dracula's so good. Bram
that's my
Stoker's.
favorite. We'll find one. I'm sure there'll be one there. Bally
Vampire, yeah.
Great
Does
game.
Class of 1812 count as like scary, or that's just
Absolutely.
me?
It's not scary, but it's spooky. It's horror-ish.
Dark and mysterious. That's what it is. Like.
Eli Prince is on here. Said, "Go, mom."
Yes, that's
Is
my
that your
son.
kid? Nice. Say hi to your kids. Hey, aren't they supposed to be in school right now? Oh, it's late.
They're out
It's a lot
now.
later. Nice. Thanks for joining us on the show. You'll have to bring them out to a pinball show one day.
Yes.
Maybe Southern Fried,
They come
since
to,
it's kind of in our
Flippers
backyard.
That we had back
Oh,
in
that's awesome.
Columbia. Yeah, they came to Little Flippers one time. They loved it.
That's great. All right. We don't want to take up too much time, but tell us, just so we can get to know you a little bit better, what are your hobbies outside of pinball?
Well, I'm a mom, so I like to do some little adventures with the kids. But personally, my newest hobby I've been trying to take on is welding. So that's been a good challenge and a lot of fun to deal with and learn.
Dude, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
crazy. How do you said bobbing? What did you
Welding.
say? Welding.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you did tell me you're welding. What, have you welded anything yet? Anything big yet?
No, not yet. I'm still laying down beads, trying to make sure that, I get that
Nice.
right. I have a hand truck to work on to see if I can get some pieces that had rusted to stick back together.
Nice.
So we'll see.
I have my playfield bracket for hard body still broken. I should bring it to Sarah to weld for me.
Yes.
It just needs a little thing this much, just a couple little beads, and it should be good.
Yeah.
Sarah's really good at soldering. Also, she's I've had her sit and solder and like make harnesses with me and stuff. So if she can solder, she can step up to that scary soldering, which is welding. I think pretty easy. So.
Yeah.
You should just take some of our broken brackets and weld on that. Oh, they might be too skinny, I guess. I was thinking about that. You needed something to start welding on because you said your iron plate was getting nasty, but I think all the stuff we have is too skinny and it would just burn holes in it, wouldn't it? Like all those side rails that are screwed up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, really? That's a thing? Because it gets too hot?
Way too hot. I've burned holes through steel already. Like if you go too slow, because you're having to like learn how fast you got to move, right? So if you go too slow, it burns straight through.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nuts.
that would be a lot of fun. Maybe one day I'll take classes from you when you become a professional. Awesome. All right. Well, let's see. Tales from the Crypt is another game you have to play.
Okay.
And there will probably be one at Texas Pinball Festival.
Yes.
But besides that, thank you so much for joining us, Sarah. Do you have any final words for your kids watching, for the pinball community in whole? This is your 15 seconds of fame right here.
Yes. Well, I definitely enjoy Marco. Thank y'all for visiting our website and ordering from me. Us, all of us, whatever, because I'm definitely ordering everything that I can. So it's great. I love it. Thanks, y'all.
Come see us at Texas.
Thank
Come
you.
see Sarah at Texas and make
Yeah,
her play more pinball.
I'll see you in Texas.
What are you most looking forward to actually going for Texas Pinball Festival, which will be your first time experiencing one of the greatest shows
Yes.
on this earth?
My biggest goal right now would be to meet a bunch of my suppliers that I order from. Like, I can't wait to meet them and just build that relationship.
Awesome.
Now, hey, hold on.
It's gonna be
I
good.
need to interject here. One show that Sarah did go to last year is one of the greatest shows
That
ever.
is another one of the greatest shows. It's true. I have a special place in my heart for Houston Arcade Expo, and
saying.
it'll always remain there.
Just saying.
Yeah, and she got to experience that too. So there will be a lot of those people will come hang out at Texas too.
Yes.
So you'll see a lot of familiar faces.
Can't wait.
Yeah, it'll be good. All right, Sarah, we'll let you get back to ordering parts for us and keeping us in business. And then we're going to work on some Surf Champ.
Yes. Bye, y'all.
All right.
Bye, Sarah.
See ya. I'm going to go back to the holding screen real quick while we switch over, so we can all enjoy some surf music.
Okay, I just leave out, right?
Okay.
All right, it's Surf Champ time.
It is.
Kyle Caution, are you ready?
Oh, God. Yeah, I'm ready. Let's take a look at this
He
thing.
said, "Oh God."
Boost the Kyle mic. Here, wait, hold on. Let me make sure I'm totally boosted.
No, hold on. Let me do it on my end.
Okay, well, I was just making sure I'm boosted here, too.
Okay, good.
Yeah, Daniel, soldering
How do we
is
sound?
easier than welding metal, but it's funny though, like, you know, when after Sarah started welding and then I had her soldering stuff for me, she was like, oh, this is kind of like doing this. And I thought that was
good
funny.
now?
Am I too quiet? Yeah, I'm not even peaking. You should bring it up a teeny bit more.
Hold on.
Now I'll keep talking. Yeah, what about that? Am I louder? I can probably move the microphone closer to my mouth. Like that. Keep it coming. Pez Johnson says more, more, more.
More. What's up, Pez?
Keep that thing moving upwards.
Some candy from you. Move the mic better.
Yeah. I forgot to wear a good Marco shirt today, so I'm covering it up with my jacket.
Oh, no.
Which is not a Marco jacket, and honestly, you need to tell Emoto that we need Marco hoodies because hoodies rule.
I know. It's almost summer season, though.
Yeah, but that really only affects us here in the hellish south where it's 1 billion degrees every day. I would have a hoodie on every day when I lived in California because it never gets hotter than 68 degrees.
Where's your mic? It can go up on your collar right here.
Yeah. Right here.
Oh, I see. I see where it blends in.
Here, wait,
well, everyone, we are starting a new game. This is Gottlieb Surf Champ. It's an old EM. Kyle, tell us the history of how you got this game, where it came from.
How I got this game?
And what do we have to do?
A customer called me and had me come fix a couple of his games, and then that same customer called me and said he had more games for me to fix, so he brought it. Surf Champ is a really cool game. Actually, the interesting thing is this customer, he actually has a history with Marco in the sense that he owned a company called Carolina Coin Op, and he serviced the Charleston, Orangeburg, Richland, you know, and all the other counties in between where we are and down in Charleston. So he has actually been doing business with Marco for a very long time. And when I went over to work on the games for the customer, you know, he knew that Mark had passed away, and he was telling me stories about, you know, going and getting things from Mark and how he would actually have Mark and Nancy work on some of his games on his route up here when he wasn't able to get up to Columbia. So
that's
really nice guy. You know, he's got a lot of, he says he's got a couple more old games he wants me to cycle through. So yeah, I'm liking it. It's to be fun, but the this game is old. It's been through a lot. There's some interesting I haven't actually opened it up yet, but there are some very interesting modifications done to the cabinet. But the game is actually in really nice shape, playfield-wise. The cabinet's kind of beat. Someone painted the front blue, and then the front of the head and the front of the cabinet blue, which is awful, but you know, whatever. Other than that, it is in nice shape, and we'll take a look at the playfield in a minute. But Surf Champ is a good game. It's a sought-after game. It's kind of got everything you want out of a electromechanical pinball machine. You know, it's got drop targets, it's got pop bumpers, it's got a spinner. You know, it's kind of got everything. It's a neat game because. I think there's some rollover buttons in the middle, and if I remember right, if you hit all of those rollover buttons, it makes the saucer on the right side of the playfield worth a good amount of points. So trying to hit all of those rollovers and then collecting a lot of points in that saucer is a great way to get your score up. I think this was a really good selling game. I think Surfer and Surf Champ, Surfer being the 2-player version, they sold very well. I work on a lot of them.
Oh, gotcha.
It's a pretty common one, but it's a fun game. And it's in good shape. When we open up, I'm sure.
Grumpy EM Doctor said, who is responsible for the unsightly blue paint?
I don't know. It's not something I'm going to mess with, but it's It is kind of sad. Like, I think someone sprayed it because there's a lot of overspray on the side of the head. It's not that bad, but it's like you can see a mist of it, and there's also a bunch on the side.
Oh, yeah, the front's blue, too. That's not how it usually is, right?
No.
By the coin door.
Yeah, no, someone
oh, wow.
painted the front facings blue. But yeah, so I found one thing in the back. We're going to go over this slowly, but this is also exploratory, right? I've never opened this up, so let's take a look. From what I saw when I put the head on, it's pretty gross. There's a lot of stuff in the back of the cabinet, but let's check out the rest of the condition. So the glass is covered in a really nice coating of mildew. It's always my favorite thing to have to deal with.
Can we see it? Do you have the house lights on? Cletus is responsible, Daniel says.
Yeah, you're right. No, it's okay. You can see it. Put on the camera.
Ooh.
There's a lot of glare.
Look at that nice house light. Come on.
Look at all that mildew. Blech. It's pretty grody. So we'll be cleaning this glass. But let's take a look on the inside. So you'll see, actually, this will be a good thing to show off right away. This is the big Gottlieb coin door. So this is the coin door they used on the System 1 games in the last couple years of the...
Oh, what was that?
I unplugged my microphone. Hold on, let me...
Oh, no. Sorry about that.
Let me tuck that wire into my back pocket. There we go. This coin door is used on some of the later games. If you look at, like on my Jack in the Box over here, that's an earlier Gottlieb coin door. They're a lot smaller, but you can also see that the front of the cabinet is a lot larger. So these Gottlieb games, here's something you could put in your memory banks. Games like Jack in the Box use a 31-inch leg. Games with this big coin door with that much deeper cabinet use 27-inch legs. I think all y'all know that I am really picky and peculiar about my legs. Now we look inside the cabinet, and the first thing we see is this crazy, this thing, he said this wasn't his. He didn't operate this game, he just got it. But there are these giant coin chutes.
What are those? They're coin chutes?
Yeah.
Like they collect the coins?
This game probably had a ginormous coin box mounted to the bottom. And this was probably in a bigger arcade or an amusement center, and it had a very large coin box on the bottom. And the operators would have these, the collectors would have these carts with a little box. You just pull the cart out next to it, unlock it, pull the bottom thing out, and all the coins would drop in. So it's a very interesting, weird thing. There's also this giant eye bolt in the front. I'm going to try to remove that. This game's going to take a lot of cleaning. The customer said make it as nice as possible, but don't go crazy, So I'll probably try to remove this eye bolt.
What was that for?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Maybe to lock it to the floor so no one can steal it.
Maybe.
Like you do with computers.
But there's nothing on the opposite side, so I couldn't tell you what it was for.
You only need one anchor.
So that'll end up coming out.
Bolt it shut. Mm.
Where?
So it would just be like a thing that held the coin door closed.
On what though? I guess, but I don't think anyone would ever want to block the coin return. I'm wondering if it has something to do with whatever was bolted underneath it. That's what I was trying to figure out. Wait, why does that Marco Polo? Do we have a bot?
I don't know what's happening. Marco Polo, you've been blindly fumbling around Twitch trying to find the stream that fits you the best. But now you've made your way to Marco Pinball. Take that blindfold off and reach out and touch that follow or sub today.
Okay, hey, whatever that bot is, thanks for being here.
How did we get that bot?
Or if you're not a bot, you're confusing.
Look, and it's and it's doing the Carlos little head Well,
maybe they're not a bot. Maybe that
Laserlos.
person rules. Thanks
the
for
cat
joining
Bob
us.
from Laserlos.
But check it out. Look at this gross coin door. Someone spilled many
It's a
sodas
real
in
bot.
here.
It's not even AI. It's a real person. This is amazing. All right, sorry.
No, it's okay.
That is intense, Kyle.
Let's just open this gross thing up. I'm going to put this over here. Maybe it was chained to the floor.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Hey, that's what I said. Was thinking.
Who knows? And you know what? It's not our job to figure it out, unfortunately, but there's a lot of rust on this front end. Someone definitely spilled a ton of soda into this. This is probably the original pane of glass, too. There's a lot of these old Gottlieb games that have really nicely smoothed panes of glass like this. So underneath all that gross crap.
Yeah, I think that is the dirtiest machine we've ever seen on the show. You're right, Gramps. Oh gosh. Why do you have the house lights on?
We're actually working on a pinball machine now. Not something that either I owned or something that someone had cared for before. This is literally a game that's been sitting in the garage for a decade, you know? This is very, very normal for someone that just does service, right? I've worked on much grosser games than this. This one's actually quite clean, other than the mildew, but this stuff cleans up really easy. You just hit it with a brush and, you know, you end up taking a little bit of the coating off or whatever, but you get the rust off and it looks nicer. But I'm not doing anything crazy with this game. It's just going to be cleaned up. Can you not get the camera to
No,
out?
it's being really buggy, and because the house lights are on, it's super
Oh, it's not. Here, okay, let me move the other camera over the play field and I'll show you what's going on.
Yeah, that would be better anyway. Oh, there you go. I turned it on and off again and it worked.
Oh, it's focusing now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, here, while Amoto's working on that.
Both work. I like having this option too. Also.
The playfield's really, really damn nice. You've got a little bit of scarring here from the flippers rubbing at some point, but whatever.
When I
it's
come
dirty.
to the studio next week, I'm just going to shoot the lights out.
Powdery mildew nastiness in the back of the game here. Okay. We'll clean that out. For whatever reason, someone's painted the top arch yellow, which is unfortunate because unless it actually looks like it probably was rusty. I don't know what's under. Ugh. I don't know. I'm not sure what to do with that one. I might be able to paint it. Gottlieb would put a certification sticker in the top left corner here that said like the serial number and the name of the game.
Eternal Grammy. I would love to. Can we just do this all in candlelight?
No, that's why I don't turn the lights off. I'd be okay with the soft violins. But anyways, I'll probably end up keeping all that yellow there. I'm not going to go into that. I just want to get the game working and move on to the next one. The customer's fine with that. I'm going to clean off the heads of the screws and make it look a little bit less like kindergarten art project. But otherwise, the playfield's in immaculate condition. It doesn't really even need that much cleaning. Someone's been in here at some point. Nope, never mind. This isn't stuck down. These are... Gottlieb used non-adhesive pop bumper rings, and these, I thought that these were stuck down, but these are most likely original. Aside from a really good cleaning, I mean, maybe a new set of plastics if the customer is into that, because there is one broken. Definitely new pop bumper body and caps. This is a Harlem Globetrotters spinner, I think. It's got a basketball on it. But yeah, I don't know, it's a nice game. I'm very curious what it looks like underneath, though. So let's lift the playfield.
It looks pretty on top.
It's very nice. It's very rusty.
Oh, and while he does that, just to remind you all about our awesome free domestic shipping for orders over $99 and $10 off international shipping code. That's good for 24 hours. Starting now, 30 minutes ago, is all caps PT-183 Baywatch.
Steve came up with that.
Everyone
Or no,
chuckle.
Emoto came up with that one. I think.
Did I? No.
Was it Steve?
I think it was a collective.
It was Steve.
Because
Good
it's
job,
not
Steve.
Baywatch,
It was the hive mind.
but it's Baywatch.
The hive mind. So,
Hive mind.
a few things I see. We have a secondary coin counter or something counter here. I want to figure out what this is wired to.
Let's try to get a bigger screen.
It might have been wired. I mean, the factory Gottlieb one keeps track of how many games were played. I wonder if this was counting how many multiplayer games or how many of an alternate coin denomination was. But there's a black wire that leads into the loom. Oh, wait, here we go.
Hello,
Yeah.
Pun Pokepun.
So that
Surf Champ is a blast. Yeah. I can't wait to try it out.
I think this coin counter did something with. Okay, so this one here is wired to the second shoot relay, and this one here looks like it's wired normally. I'm not sure. I will try to figure out what's going on, and I will probably I will remove excess things. We don't need to have all these coin counters in here. I'll just try to wire it up as. No, it's not a free game counter because it's wired up to the second shoot relay. I think this era of game would allow for multiple credits off of certain coins, if I remember right. So in the late 70s, like there was a push for alternate pricing and getting more people to use quarters. So I think that this game was wired up to figure out how many people played a single game, or how many people put in 50 cents to get 3 games. So this is an important thing to remember on your game, is to make sure that you wire your relay or close your relay banks so they don't hang. That's bad. This relay.
How do you close it?
I'll show you. This relay here is bent to word I'm not allowed to say.
That thing looks really heavy too.
God. What a savage. That's not how you work on these things. That's bad. Anyways.
It says tighten that wing nut.
Yeah, these things, they sit into a little mouth, and then you have to just tighten the wing nuts.
And then you tighten it down on the sides?
Yeah. So these things can, they can interfere with other things in the cabinet, which is why they need to be secure before you play the game, and definitely transport it. This game was transported on its belly over here. It was never on its back, but that relay definitely looks like it's bent out of shape. So I need to take a look at that.
Yeah, look at that. It looks so sad. So it kind of jiggled out of place and was flopping around, maybe?
Maybe. But it could be. I don't know. It looks like an unnatural amount of bend. I was messing with it a little, and it just looks wrong. This thing is this relay here is missing its clip. I got to find that. The score motor looks kind of grody, but thankfully it's been unmucked with. It's actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but there is a lot of very random hardware laying around. So.
Any treasures?
So far, no. Yeah, actually, yes, there was. I found a Bally leg bolt.
Hello, Mr. Baxter.
I found another Bally leg bolt. Actually, yes, there's quite a few treasures in here.
Oh.
Mr. Baxter, hello.
Different generations.
I found 3 Bally leg bolts. So I'm going to put those in my collection.
Such treasure.
To me, it is.
What was that little metal piece that you threw down on the ground? It looks like a coin.
So
yeah. Treasure?
Screw with a big giant washer.
Oh.
The treasures oh, hey, look, another one. Oh, 4 Bally leg bolts. I'm loving this.
Colin Baxter, don't quit your job for PinTech.
No, yeah, don't do that. I'm not worth it. I mean, I'm all about being punk rock and quitting jobs and stuff, but like, don't quit for me. Come on. How can
it looks really cool in there. It's so
What's back here?
So much going on.
There's a relay armature. That's kind of a treasure.
Oh.
It doesn't look like it's missing from a relay, but I guess we'll find out pretty soon.
I was going to say, is it from that one that's dangling?
No, thankfully not. There's a lot of relay labels in the back. That's pretty common for those things to fall off, especially when games are stored in a non-climate controlled environment. Oh, nice. Oh, here's a treasure.
Treasure.
A Peach State distributing screwdriver, a number 1 Phillips. That's a good treasure. 1040 Boulevard Southeast, Atlanta, Georgia.
A relic. What state?
I don't know. Peach State was a.
Grumpy
there
says
were
it's
two.
time to unplug and take the playfield out and out of the way.
Eventually, yeah. We're gonna work on
He
the head
just
today.
giggled.
Before we do anything else, but Peach State was a big aftermarket like coin device company. So like nowadays we have Suzo Hap, which is one of the only ones left, but back in the day we had Wicco and Peach State. Those were two very big coin amusement machine parts companies. So it's kind of neat. You see those things all over the place. Someone had someone had quieted the chimes by sticking this shop
that's
rag
not
in
nice.
there. Yeah, that's gross. Come on.
Yeah. Maybe
Nice.
they were cleaning it and then just left it under there for safekeeping.
Yeah, no. Someone wanted them to shut up and didn't know how to do it. It's actually super easy
How
to
do you
shut up.
quiet down the chimes?
You unplug them.
Actually.
Or you put something heavy on top of them, but the Gottlieb ones are really easy because you can just unplug the
But what if you still want to hear the chimes? You just don't want them like blaring.
beggars can't be choosers.
It's all or nothing.
Yeah, there's no volume knob on the chimes, unfortunately. You
I
can
didn't think
dampen
so,
them
but
though.
maybe
No,
there
like
was
if you put a
something.
rag on them or something like that, it actually quiets them down quite a bit. Here, put the other camera on, and I can show you really quick.
Okay. Yeah. Like if I want to play a game at midnight and not want to wake anyone up.
Well,
what can I do?
then I would say unplug them, but that's what you
Oh
can
right,
do
just
here.
unplug them. But
There's
I need
actually-
the sounds of chimes. All right, hold on, I'm coming to you. Right there.
So the way these are
Alright.
wired is you have a common that gets daisy chained from this coil to this coil to this coil, and then a signal from each score relay.
Oh, no.
So if you really want the chimes to shut up, you can just unplug the common, and then they won't do anything.
So the one in the middle, how do you unplug? What did you just? It looks like you just broke the wire. Oh, okay. It has a little
It's got a spade connector.
plastic casing. Okay. I was trying to like focus it a little bit.
But yeah,
Oh.
so this is pretty gross.
While the
That-
game is off.
This game is definitely going to need a lot of cleaning up. That's
Yes.
definitely mildew and moldy nastiness there. So that is probably what I will be. That is a lot of stuff I'll be doing off camera, of course. But the thing we're really concerned about are stepper units, right? Games need stepper units to step and be nice. We have one here. That's actually amazing that these things are stepping so cleanly while the rest of the game looks like absolute dog duke. Let's change the camera really quick.
Okay. Can you make the chimes louder?
No. Yeah, you totally can. Put a microphone on them, then hook it up to an
Look at that
amplifier,
juice. I need
and
some
then turn the
juice.
amplifier on, and then play. So this is
Yeah,
a
there
bonus
you go.
unit. This is a continuous stepper. I'm always gonna just drive this into people's heads.
How do you
This
make the
unit
balls?
steps. Oh no, I'm sorry. Gottlieb didn't. No, this is a step up, step down stepper. So what this thing is gonna do is step up 10 times probably. So we'll go 1. There we go. Okay. So this is the problem, right? I step this thing up, and it don't do nothing. I have to help
Wait,
it
we
through.
don't. Yeah. Wait, are we supposed to see something move on this end?
You're supposed to, but it's not, and there's the problem.
The silver thing moves? I'm confused at what I'm looking at. I've never seen it like this before. Oh, there we go.
Oh, this thing is so gummed up.
Oh, okay.
Oh, man. Okay, so this is going to be pretty decent. We're going to be able to fully disassemble at least the bonus unit.
Oh, I did see it move now. Okay, cool.
Yeah, here, check it out. You can see it on this side.
Yeah,
too.
what's the other side look like?
That's where all the steppy stuff is.
Oh, my. Back to juice. Juice intermission. Oh, my. Hello, APB. Welcome.
Howdy. Oh, best friend Andrew.
Best friend of the show, the Barney.
So we've got two problems here. Well, we've got one problem, really. Is this armature here for the step down portion of the coil is totally seized up. So with the step up plunger moving, since the pivot here is seized, the stay is not holding the gear, right? So when I'm doing this, we're getting gear backlash. The gear is moving backwards. What should be happening is this should be against the gear. This that will hold that in place. This will step down and grab a tooth. And then if it wasn't all gummed up, this thing would grab the tooth, hold itself in, and as this spring pulled it backwards, it would step the whole unit up. But we've got a really, really gummy, this pawl is really gummy here, and then this whole pivot is super nasty. So this is what I'm talking about, stepper units, and why we need to mess with them before we even try starting the game. So this one we will have to fully disassemble. It's not very hard. I was thinking we were going to look at one in the back today, but we'll see. We'll choose one to work on. It's really gross. It's actually been a hot minute since I've done a Gottlieb one.
Confess will be great. You'll get to meet Midge in the flesh.
Hey,
So we have a prediction widget. No, I'm just kidding. There's a prediction saying Kyle will do the right thing, and the shoulder bolts will still break because it happens so often. Grumpy won't even try to remove one if he doesn't have a replacement on him.
Yeah.
What are the shoulder bolts he's talking about?
It's a bolt with a shoulder. We'll see one eventually.
I thought like it's something on this unit you could point at.
Yeah, this is the shoulder bolt. Oh. It goes through, and it's wider at the top than it is at the bottom, so it will hold everything together.
Gotcha.
It is. Grumpy EM Doctor works on more EMs consistently than I do, but even when I was doing this all the time, I actually never have broken one. No, that's fine, because if I break one,
hello, Louis CC.
I can get a new one, but I will knock on wood.
So are you going to remove the assembly to work on it?
Maybe. I'm trying to figure out what the pace of the work on this game will be. I don't want to get like 3/4 of the way into something, but we'll see. I think we have enough time to at least take something apart. I wanted to keep kind of going over the Gottlieb because we've never really looked at a Gottlieb. So definitely. I feel like today we can just go over the Gottlieb, and then next time we can
we'll get dirty.
Actually work. Good day, Louis.
Can we bring Grumpy EM Doctor on next time?
Not yet. I think we'll save David for when we need logic problems, because the next step on this is all procedural. When we need David to help us sit and read the schematic, absolutely. Unless David really, really wants to come on and he can tell me I'm doing things wrong, that is absolutely acceptable as well. Things to look at on these units. This is a really unfortunate piece right here. This stepper, especially on this pawl, especially on bonus units. Most of these things they are being slammed on all the time. This is a step up, step down. I think Gottlieb noticed a lot of wear on these units as time went on. Jack in the Box, my Jack in the Box had a problem. That is a single step. It only steps forward. So when it's counting the bonus, it starts basically from position 0, and it steps through 10 times to see if there are any drop targets down, which will then allow it to reward bonus. So every single game, that thing is going to step through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. On this game, if I only have 3,000 points in bonus, it's going to go, step up, step up, step up. And then as it counts the bonus down, there is another coil that will then step down. What I'm getting at is sometimes in some games, you will find that this nylon pawl is very worn, and it is very difficult for it to make up that slack when the impulse cam on the motor is telling it to slam through all of its steps, right? So that being said, like when I had my Jack-in-the-Box, I could not figure out why the bonus countdown was super inconsistent. It ended up being because this was so worn out and had big flat sides, it had a lot of slop inside this plunger. We'll look at that when we take it all apart, but I'm just pointing it out now because I'm thinking about it and I'm trying to brain dump. The AS relay, a lot of people are really scared of these things. We'll look at the one in the back, but these things are actually quite fun to service if you do them right.
It looks crazy.
Something to also keep in your memory banks. Let's use this one for example. Actually, no, hold on. Where's a good example? Here, let's use a pop bumper. So Gottlieb used these gorgeous cloth-covered wires. This is very, very commonplace in electronics back in the 70s, 60s, etc. But you will notice that there are some solenoids that do have rubber-coated wires. These are high-voltage solenoids. Most things in I think I can say that with some authority. And Grumpy EM Doctor, correct me if I'm wrong. All coils in Gottlieb pinball machines that use a rubber insulation are high voltage. So be careful around those. You'll generally see those on things like this gigantic reset bank or on drop target reset banks, things that need a gigantic amount of oomph to do their job. Not so much on these 24-volt coils that just kind of pop. So,
Kyle, you gotta stretch. Stretch. Yeah, it feels good, right? Hydrate.
No, we're gonna hydrate.
Drink your juice. Hydrate got swapped out with pinball trivia. We
But I'm
switched
gonna
it up
hydrate
a
and
little.
drink my juice.
But we will accept the highlighted hydrate messages.
Absolutely. I'll
from
always
Mr.
accept your
Baxter.
hydrates, Colin. I'm trying to see if David said... David says, I can tell Kyle what he's doing wrong in chat just fine. This time. Next time, though, I want you on camera. Let's move around to the back and look at some of the other stuff going on back here. This is where these 4-player games can sometimes make or break you when it comes to labor. So let's take a look at this insanity back here.
Where'd the juice go? Nice. This stuff definitely looks good. You saw the juice.
Hey, hold on. Let me do a product pitch, non-sponsored. Arden's Garden. They're out of Atlanta, I think. They make some very, very fine juices that don't have like a ton of extra added sugar. They're very good.
How much sugar is in that one?
The vegetable one has 18 grams. Now, if you consider versus like
Suja?
Or like an Adwala juice or something like that, that sugar count like might be doubled. Anywho.
Yeah.
Let's. So this is the back of the game, if you couldn't tell. Let me step out of the way so we have some better light and stuff. Oh crap! That's really
shiny.
Close. Yeah. The nice thing is Gottlieb probably used like some extraordinarily toxic plating for their metals. Oh wait, that's the color temperature one. Hold on. So but they always come out really nice. They're generally very shiny and they resist corrosion a lot, which is super cool. We have 16 score reels in a Gottlieb 4-player. I am amazed, and sometimes you will find these games that are almost like a unicorn, and I am going to treat this one like a unicorn because...
Whoa.
Actually, let me get one that's like notoriously bad, the draggiest score reel with the circuit board and everything. These things step perfectly.
Oh, well, that's great.
This is where a massive amount of your labor comes from when working on a Gottlieb electromechanical game, especially a 4-player, where on some of the worst games, you will have to take all 16 of these score reels apart to have absolute reliable operation of the pinball machine. Generally, the first player ones, sometimes the first player ones will be fine. And a lot of the times you'll find like the 4th player score reels will be the real sluggish ones because the percentage of time people are going to play a 4-player game goes down exponentially versus a 1-player game. But even 4th player are nice. I'm doing this very slow, like so unnaturally slow to try to make it cause a problem, but it is perfect. And if anyone here works on electromechanical games, it does it for customer work, you will be probably sharing my elation right now.
Oh, there's a bug on the top.
Where?
Over there.
What do you mean? Where?
It's gone. Oh no. Sorry, I'm going crazy. Studio mode.
I see 0 bugs.
I think it was a fly.
You're freaking me out, man. Anyways, the other stuff we have in the back are, player 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh, crap. I was looking at player 3. Anyways, they all work well. You have your credit unit down in the bottom left-hand corner of this game. If you've ever wondered why this big metal plate is surrounding the credit unit, that is so people, it makes it much harder for someone to drill into the side of the game and try to get free credits. Which is why this is
killing me with this angle. It's just all the back of the studio.
Oh, well, it's fine. It's clean now. Yes, there is a cross on the floor. Yes, this building used to be a church in a past life. Here you go, behind the scenes.
Nope, not looking at it.
All right, I fixed it now. Come back. It was not like a
Come
fancy
back, he
church either.
says. Come back. Oh, yeah, there we go. Thanks.
This unit that I have down here is the player unit. This is the most important unit in the game in the sense that it keeps track of who is up and what ball is going on. This is a continuous stepper. It has 1 coil to step 1 direction. I think we've explained this once before, but its first position would be ball 1, player 1. The second snap-in would be ball 1, player 2, ball 1, player 3, ball 1, player 4, and then to ball 2, player 1. So if you were only playing a 1-player game, that is why when a Gottlieb is switching to the next ball, you'll see the second player, third player, fourth player lights come through, and this thing snaps 3 times to get to your next ball. That's because it's always stepping through each player. This player unit is also suffering from a very badly seized up armature. So this one also will have to come apart. This one looks kind of scary, and it is kind of scary to service, but it's not so bad. The nice thing is we can actually remove the switch bank, and you have to be very careful when dealing with this switch bank. It's not that hard to do, but just, unscrew it. It pops out of the way, and then we can totally service this armature without removing the cam from its shaft either. So the quick and dirty way to do this would be to get some oil and try to lube this thing up. Best practice just to remove it. So we'll see. We'll get there at some point. I'll probably get a little oil in there and see if I can get it to loosen up, and then take it apart if it's really bad. The last stepper that is really fun on this game is these little mini guys here. So this guy controls the match. I think one side is going to be for the lights, the match lights, and the other side is for the part of the circuit that will match up with I forget how numbers work. One side will match up with the circuit board on the tens unit, right? So
Can Can you tell us what's the best type of oil to use?
Motor oil. Seriously, just I use like a 30-weight motor oil in my Zoom spout oiler. This thing is great.
Oh, look at that.
You have an extendable oil application device, and you can be very precise with your applications. Do not ever, ever, ever use anything that sprays. No WD-40, no aerosols. It's bad.
Cool.
So this is a neat unit. These do need to be serviced, and you can take this out and put it on your bench. This unit does come out with 2 Jones plugs. They're kind of tight. I'll mess with them later. But yeah, one side will control which light is lit, and the other one will match up with the circuit on your tens unit, which is why some of these things have a... Ew, someone used an awful screw on this guy. That's not supposed to be a sheet metal screw. Nasty. But this circuit board here is to work the match, right? If you end on 1 and that wiper is sitting on the 1 pad for that circuit, and this also happens to line up on whatever would be the 1, that's how you get a free game, if that feature is enabled via some Jones plugs in the game.
Altered B seats. Welcome to pinball, where everything is an innuendo.
Anything and everything. So yeah, this is a really this relay this is a miniaturized stepper. The replay or
wait, what are you pointing at? Hold on.
The match units used to be gigantic, like the like a full size stepper. So to regain some of that room in the head, especially Gottlieb was good at that. They like to combine things. So instead of having a player unit and a ball and play unit, they combined them into just one complicated player unit, right? It keeps track of both of those things. Let me hang it back from its hangers here. This is miniaturized and just reduced the footprint. So it's a teeny little relay coil, and generally this is driven off of like your lowest denomination score, right? Because that's what matches the game. So your 10-point relay, and it will pull in this little armature here. Let me try to get this closer. Can y'all see those cool little nylon gears down there?
Yeah, I'm focusing. Oh, yeah. Look at that.
So when this little guy pulls in, it will move down, grab a tooth, and then step up. This one has a lot of drag because it's very dirty.
Can you rotate it? Yeah, clockwise. No, right there, and then do the stepping. Okay, yeah, you can see the teeth are very tiny, yeah?
It's very tiny. So these need to be taken apart and cleaned. The best advice I can give you for one of these, and we'll do one on camera, is to do it one side at a time. Never take both sides out, because then things that are held center will go all over the place. It's a pain in the butt. Some of these things will also have like an alternator feature. So like on some games, maybe you'll have a pop bumper that's worth 10 points or 100 points when lit. And when you hit the 10-point switch, there will also be another switch mounted up here. And when this thing clicks in, like every other step, it will close another switch on top. So there's a few different flavors of this relay. But this one just handles the match in this game. So we will definitely service that one. These things, okay, let's look at how to attach one of these Gottlieb relays too. So I don't know, maybe this is too basic, but let me just show what's going on here. The relay frame, you've kind of got your, you've got a claw foot on this side.
Wait, tilt up a little? Down. Or yeah, you can bring it down.
You've got like a little claw on this side, and you've got a tooth with a hole on this side. This is going to be hard to see from this angle, but what you do is with that tooth side facing away from you, you find the slot.
Can you tilt up?
Actually, wait, no, this is a better spot. Check this out. See right here underneath this wire?
Yeah.
that tooth bit goes in here. It reaches the end, and then you pivot the front down. And then you can stick your hairpin like that.
Oh, wow. Cool.
So that is how these are all supposed to be attached, so they don't wiggle and move. Did I check the credit unit to see if that thing moves? Yeah, the credit unit's nice. It steps up in decrements. This is your best friend, this switch right here. Because when it's closed, that means you have free games. So if you wanted to put your Gottlieb game on free play, you could wrap these wires together, make them touch, and then you always have a free game.
Wait, how do you put your Gottlieb game on free play? What did you just do?
We'll do that when it actually comes time to do it.
Okay, because that's really cool.
You're just tricking it into thinking it always has a credit. These older electromechanical games do not work like a newer game would, where you put coins in to get a credit, and then you start your game. On this game, if I were to put a quarter in, it would reset and start a game. And then every subsequent quarter I would put in, depending on which chute and how it's wired up, would just add players. So generally the only time you would ever need the start button, or Gottlieb called it the credit button a lot of the time on their schematics, would be if you won a game. Because then you would push that button to start a new one when a credit was present on that wheel, if that makes sense.
A little bit.
Well, you'll see.
Yeah, it would be a cool thing to do a little micro video on.
But yeah, so what are we doing for time?
You still got a nice solid hour.
Yeah, okay. I'm thinking, I'm trying to think. Hold on. Let me use my brain here and we can figure out what we're going to work on or what we should work on. I'm definitely excited to rebuild the drop target bank. We will be putting new drop targets in this game.
I should be taking notes.
Oh, let's look at these flippers too, because these are some of the best flippers in pinball ever.
Drop target bank. Are we going to do a flipper rebuild on this game?
Probably not, because that's why these flippers rule so much.
Okay.
But we'll see. It depends on how screwed up they are, or whatnot. So these flippers are great. They use these flippers from the late 70s all the way through System 80. I think these flippers were actually the same all the way until like some of the first System 3 games. They do not wear out. They just like there is almost zero reason to rebuild these things because they are so over-engineered that they really do not wear out. There's two gigantic bushings, one on each side of this bracket here. There's this, the plunger itself protrudes all the way through this bracket, but they're just very heavy duty. Let me come over here so I can see what's going on as I'm poking and prodding. The coil stops go bad. You definitely need to replace the coil stops when that happens. But for the most part, you don't get a lot of slop in these links. Steve, for the people that are curious, can you actually post that plunger? You know, the one with the square tip? Yeah. It's got a really, so instead of like a skinny little link, like a lot of old games use like a skinny link, like a fiber link, or even Williams and Stern, they use a skinny fiber link. Gottlieb used this like half-inch thick piece of nylon with this huge, like 3/16" wide roll pin right through the middle. And they're just indestructible. It's really loose. That's really bad.
Oh, nice. I'm going to add that to the product reel, too, actually. Todd and Mandy McCullough said, "This is a fun game. The sound is the best." I can't wait to hear the sound, actually, when we finally get to turn it on. The sound works and everything on this game, Kyle? It
should. It's very simple. When the relay closes and the contacts for the chime close, it makes noise. Huh? It plays Dick Dale. It does, yeah. But yeah, it's just an elegant, nice system. Now, one thing Gottlieb did do in the 80s when they redesigned this, I guess like there's one weak point in this. So if you look at like the flipper pawl, or I guess what you would consider the pawl, you see those two like teeth
ding, ding,
coming out?
Ding, dong, ding.
And you've got this the big bit that rotates here
but and
clamps on the flipper bat. So you can see that the point of actuation for the end of stroke switch is at the end of that tooth. Do you see that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can see it.
The worst part about these flippers is that this thing will eat into the back blade that pushes on that this triangular switch actuator, and it can cause holes, and that can be weird. So generally, when you're working on these things, replacing end of stroke switch, like backing plates, is all you'll need to do. But in the 80s, Gottlieb, I believe they actually stepped this down a little bit, and then they put a roll pin here. So they drilled holes in this thing, and a roll pin went across those two teeth, and then that roll pin that bridged that gap is what would actually actuate the switch. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe if we ever get an 80s Gottlieb game to work on, I'll try to remember to show that. But this is a very, very elegant flipper. If I was to, Chris and I always used to joke and like talk about like if we wanted to design the most reliable pinball machine that would like never, ever need service, it would be like, a Bally computer and drive system with these Gottlieb flippers and Williams opto drop targets that never need work, and these flippers are just incredible. The other thing is that they're also very strong. They hit with the power of a sledgehammer. They're great. I can't say enough about them.
Mitch says they're indestructible, like Wolverine.
The super levers? Yeah, sure. I would say that is a good and apt comparison.
Oh, the super levelers. Gotcha. I'm going to put that in the product reel too.
I don't think they did either. I'm trying to decide if I do want to try to yank apart the bonus unit right now without having that part, like David said. But it's also been a long time since I've actually worked on one of these, so I also need to kind of teach myself as I go. I haven't worked on a Gottlieb in a minute. The last Gottlieb that I bought, it like works flawlessly, and I didn't have to touch it, so I've been spoiled in that respect. Oh, a little bit too much oil. I want to catch that before it drips too far away. But this pawl here cannot be removed. So what I'm going to do is I'm really just going to try to stick some oil in there and see if I can get it to loosen up, which it has very nicely. And remember, when working on steppers, be gentle with the springs. You don't need to like manhandle them and just to destroy them. Be gentle. Okay, so that functions a lot better now. We might be able to also just loosen this thing up. I'm going to probably want to service it, but if just adding a little bit of oil to break through some of that gunk can get us somewhere. And again, I'm gonna, this is a good customer. This is a guy that I want to, continue working with. So I will be, offering a warranty and working hard to keep all of his games working nice. So I will probably take this one apart, but let's just see if we can get it to move. Add just a bit more oil here. And that's this again. This is why this is so beautiful. This tool, you can really apply oil to just the right spot and just the right quantity. Saturate that in a little bit. Let's see if we can break that loose. Oh, that's a lot better. It's still a little sticky. It should be much snappier.
Oh yeah, it kind of floated.
You see that?
Yeah.
But see, now the other thing too is that this thing is also seized onto the actual the frame, the grease that actually pivots this arm. So We'll apply a little bit more. Let's just see if we can get it moving.
Grumpy suggested spraying the shoulder bolt with alcohol to temporarily try to free it.
Okay, that's not a bad idea, huh? And that's, okay, so that's what we're talking about here, is this shoulder bolt, you know, they were installed with a good amount of torque. Oh, geez. That flew out. Get back in there.
Did it just splatter everywhere?
No, thankfully it didn't. That would be gross. Let me get another paper towel, though. The shoulder bolts are in there with a decent amount of torque, and especially when they are really seized like that with a bunch of grease, the grease acts as a, you know, it doesn't move. That's why this thing is so dang stuck. So if we try to start unscrewing it, they do have a tendency to snap because they go from a thick, sturdy shoulder bolt to a skinny bit of thread, and that's what causes a lot of problems. So it's starting to loosen up. It should be flawless. It's getting there, actually. It does feel a lot better. I feel more confident about probably taking it apart now, but also now, nah, this doesn't want to sit down where it's supposed to. What?
Dick says,
My God.
yeah, put on some Marvin Gaye, it'll loosen up.
My God.
Well, I could do like, what if I did,
Okay. There's a bit of oil dripping on that gear now, so we've definitely oversaturated. You know, we're going to take this thing apart to clean it out at some point, so I'm not that worried about having all this oil in here.
Oh no, it's the wrong one.
What
is this weird thing going on?
Whew, it's dripping. All right, well, I think we've tried enough. We have about 20, 30 minutes. I could probably get this thing apart in that amount of time, but I wouldn't be able to put it back together. I'm not confident in my my memory on how to do this like super effectively. So I'm kind of thinking I really don't want to take this apart just since we are at the point of the show we're at right now. But
you still got 40 minutes?
You know what's funny, actually? It's so loosey-goosey now. I feel like if I added that teeny little bit of grease that I would add to the teeth of the actual stepping gear, this thing will just work immediately.
Yeah, let's try. Oh.
I'm adding a little bit of grease here to kind of move it along.
Oh my gosh.
Putting grease on metal surfaces is definitely where it's intended to be. This sort of stuff will definitely prolong the life of the gears. And that's actually kind of doing the trick as we keep spreading it from tooth to tooth. What's happening is when this step-up pawl is moving, the step-up pawl is kind of dragging on that dry, sticky gear, and it is keeping it in place. Or it's giving it backlash, and it's not letting it slide down to grab the tooth and then pull up. So this is being sloppy. This is absolutely not how you should be doing this, but I just want to get it working so I can show you guys what it's supposed to do. The step down side is working well. This is too much grease. This would have to be cleaned up if this was your finished state.
I know, Grumpy.
It's not wrong.
Grumpy's yelling, disassemble.
I don't want to do it.
Transmission said, I'll buy you a hydration if you do it in 40.
Nah, I'm not going to rush it.
You got 35 now.
It's been too long since I've done this, and I have a hard stop today. We have to lead on at 5. So.
And Who was it earlier that said you weren't gonna disassemble it?
Well, look where we're at there now, though. You know, does it need to come apart? Yes, but is it functioning now? Mostly.
Oh. And then Krenos has a Surf Champ up right now. Yay, Surf Champ. That's 2 other people in the chat today that have a Surf Champ.
It's a great game.
Yeah, I think they said they had one. Boise has a Surf Champ too? Oh, it was you that said that he wasn't going to disassemble it. Yeah, it was a good prediction. Inventors disassemble. No, they stay assembled.
This one, well, I'd love to service one of these things on the bench, but the only things we could actually service on the bench would be the AS, or what is it called in this game? The FS relay. We can take that to the bench to do it. These need to be serviced while they're in the game. But if we got rid of a little bit of this grease, you can kind of see how this unit is supposed to work. Is this framed up well?
Yes. It's beautifully framed. Nice work.
So what we've got here, right, this is the step-up plunger. It is attached to this armature here. This thing will pull in, and this little footsie right here, which is on a pivot, right, this thing will move down, grab a tooth, and through the tension of this spring, will push the unit up 1 gear, 1 step, right? Every time I get a new bonus, this thing will pull in and move up. Do you see how it's stepping up? It goes down, grabs a gear, it pushes it up. Grabs a gear, pushes it up. When it needs to step down, you've got this plunger on the other side. Let me talk myself through it so I kind of explain it right. This plunger on the back is connected to a much more, a little bit more of a complicated armature, and it works in tandem with the step-up plunger, right? So when this thing pulls in, you've got this guy right here, right, which was really frozen. When this thing pulls in, it's going to pull away from the little guy that grabs the teeth and pushes it up. And while it's pulling in and pushing this away, this guy's going to come in, hold the last tooth and hold it in place because it's under tension from this torsion spring. If I pulled both of those things up right now, this thing would go zoop and zoom back to 0, right?
Oh my gosh,
so if I hit this, watch how it works, right? It comes in first and it holds the gear, right? It holds the gear, it then pushes the grabber away, which then forces it to move down 1. It's moving down 1 because this guy caught the next coming gear, and then it just lets go, right? 1, 2, and it will keep doing that until this peg, which will indicate the end of its travel, will go and manipulate all of these switches right here.
I was just about to ask what that peg did. Okay.
So it manipulates those switches. What those switches do, I'm not 100% sure, but as it's stepping down...
Oh, so it's touching the switches from where it's at now? Just because our angle, it's like hidden completely from the spring.
Here. Can you see that now? So now when we step up, so this is in position 0, or maybe in this game this is 1,000 points bonus, right?
Big screen.
Depending on how this game is wired, this could be your 1,000 points. In every game, you just start with 1,000 points bonus, but what these switches do is one of them tells the game, it's like, hey, I'm done stepping down now, right? You can move on to the next step, because at the end of the ball, your out-hole relay pulls in, and all sorts of things happen. The bonus steps down, the drop targets reset, and one of these switches says, hey, we're done, so stop doing this portion, move on to the next. But check it out. So when we step up, that moves away, and these 3 switches close. This is a make-break switch. So if I close this one, it's not actually closed, which could cause a problem.
Can you tilt up just a little bit?
Yeah. So that's actually good that I'm looking at this right now, because this top portion on this make-break switch wasn't actually closing. So now if we move down, this one's going to close, close, and close. Right? And then it can only step up 10 times, because then we've also got a flat spot.
Okay, now it's stuck.
Right? Let me turn the ring light off and you might be able to see. There's like a flat spot in the gear. There's no more teeth, so it can't step anymore. So now when we step down, once we step down 10 times, you're getting all your bonus, and then all those switches open, and now it moves on to the next step of the out-hole procedure. So that's a bonus stepper on this game. Now some games maybe will have a 20-step stepper. So you can get like 20,000 points in bonus. This game is limited to 10,000 points in bonus. So once you max that out, there's a way in this game, I believe, to collect your bonus. So
that's awesome.
They're just neat. And I think once people kind of understand what these things do, that makes a big difference. Now, some people might be sitting and looking at the screen and being like, well, how the hell does it know how many points in bonus you have if there's only like 3 switches that change state once? And that's what this circuit board here does. I don't know how it works in the schematic, but we can take a look. Right, there are wipers here. And these little fingers, they touch sets of rivets. Maybe you could see them if I go like this and turn the ring light on. No, you can kind of see them. Do you see that?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Right? So as this thing steps up, I'm just going to step it up all the way. Ah, it's stuck.
Oh, okay.
So through that process, now I'm wondering if that's even on right, because it's stepped in a weird motion, but whatever.
Going back real quick, Daniel said that gear shaft is looking loose. Question mark.
I don't think it's loose. It's just got a lot of lash to it because it's not stepping nicely. I just kind of lubed it up a lot, and it's not perfect. So I do want to check the orientation of this disc. I want to make sure it's right, because you can put these things off like 180 degrees wrong. And right now at 0, it's not touching any rivets, right? So if we step up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait, can this game go higher in bonus? I guess I never actually counted how many times it's stepped. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So maybe you can rack up 15,000 points. So how did that, where were these guys? Oh, yeah, no, it's right. So this single unit is on this last rivet, and then these two come into play on
Can you tilt down a little bit?
11,
Totally
12, 13, 14, 15. The problem with some older games like this, and I don't trip out on this stuff until you start playing it, and once you have it resetting and stuff, that's the most difficult and the biggest challenge, the big hurdle you want to overcome when working on these games. But this game is very old. There has been many hands touching and messing with this game. There definitely are chances where there is an absolute man-made problem in this game, and man-made problems are a lot more difficult to fix in these games because there's so much more going on, right? If there's one switch that someone borked up, you'd never see it, right? Unless you were really looking in that position. So sometimes you do have to think about it in that sense, that there could be some man-made problems, but cross those bridges when you get there. I've seen lots of man-made problems. I remember the guy I used to work for going crazy trying to fix a score motor problem because there were 2 sets of switches where the score motor, the switches for the motor could attach, and someone had taken the entire motor apart with the best intentions of cleaning the motor and all the switches and all that stuff. But when they put it back together, they screwed them into the wrong holes, and it basically put the entire, that switch stack closing like 10 degrees off in the rotation. So it screwed up the entire logic of the game. So that's also another reason why I don't like taking all this stuff out and messing with it. I like getting it working. And then
yeah, you need to do it all at once, right?
There's nothing wrong with people doing it that way. I just feel like there's a much higher chance of you causing more problems than you started with if you were to do all of that first. But that's my opinion.
To remove it and stuff. Yeah. Well, then that's where you take pictures, right? But people talk about taking pictures more than they actually do them.
Well, the problem
it's always
is
an afterthought.
the problem is like
pictures.
you can't really take pictures of this, right? You can take overview pictures, but are you going to get in here and take a picture of every single switch from every single angle? It's almost impossible.
I mean, I would, because I would be paranoid that I'd mess it up. But I could easily see where someone would not go through that hassle.
See, I probably caused this problem, right? Where this switch wasn't closing because I was in here mucking around trying to get this to move. I probably bent that switch out of the way, right? It's that easy. So you just have to be really cognizant and use all your senses.
Yeah.
David is correct. I got that totally wrong. This circuit board just does the lights here. So when this thing steps up, it changes the light. What I think actually adds the points is this switch right here on the, I might be wrong, so tell me if I'm wrong, but I think this switch, every time the motor pulses this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's like the pace of the Gottlieb
tilt
score
down
motor.
a little?
Every time that this steps down, this will close. Oh crap.
Huh. Thank you.
Every time that this pulses down, that switch will close, and that's what awards the actual points, if that makes sense. This stepper unit, or this wiper here, keeps track of the lights, but since those switches on the other side are now open... Todd!
Hello!
What's up, man?
If it's Todd Tucky at TNT Amusements, a little birdie or a few little birdies told me that you're not going to Texas Pinball Festival.
Oh.
And you're just sending the twins?
That makes me sad, but it's okay.
I love the twins, but you should come.
We will miss you. I'm very honored that the very noble, wonderful Todd Tucky is in my video right now.
I know.
I've seen so many of his, and I'm sure you have too, and Todd's watching me. Wow, ooh, tingles. But yeah, so again, we were looking at the switches on the other side that told the game, hey, stop stepping down because we're at 0. That is what this switch does, right? When this thing is going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, every time that this closes, in conjunction with the bonus relay or the out-hole relay, which is closed, every time this switch closes, that is what will actually trigger the 1,000-point relay to add more points. This sounds very complicated, but you know, the more you mess with and look at these games, the actual simpler you kind of realize that these electromechanical games really are. It's just all about really understanding how everything works in conjunction with each other. But they are very complicated, and they still do make me nervous. You just have to be positive that you can do it. Anyways, I think we're kind of getting to the point where I might be able to answer questions now. And next week, I will be way more prepared and ready to disassemble some assemblies. So,
what can we do? Which assembly can we pick for next week? Do you want to do the drop target bank, or do you want to continue on the bonus assembly?
We're going to keep working on steppers. So we'll do the bonus unit. We'll do the player unit. We'll do the AS relay. We're not going to do the drop targets until the game's done, right? We're going to clean it, make sure it looks good, and then we can do the drop targets. We'll also be rebuilding the 2 pop bumpers on this game as well, mostly because to replace the actual, cosmetic components, we need to. They need to come apart anyway. So we've done Williams pop bumpers 1,000,000 times. Let's do a Gottlieb.
Yeah. Okay, that'll be awesome.
Hey, I think Steve redeemed pinball trivia once, too. Here's a good pinball trivia.
Oh, really?
I think everyone but David...
Yeah, because I thought I could ask you a pinball trivia question.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to ask the chat a trivia question.
I missed that.
I'm asking the chat a trivia question, and then you can ask me a trivia question.
No, because Grumpy EM Doctor already answered.
Oh, well...
Wait, what was the trivia question? I missed that, too. Chat was on fire.
So Grumpy EM Doctor is not allowed to answer this one. Put this camera on, Emoto.
Yeah, Kyle got a haircut. Okay, hold on.
Okay. I'm cleaner cut now. What is that plate for? Simple question. What is that plate for?
Oh, I know what it's for. Give
Give the chat a little while to answer.
I almost got it wrong, but then I dug back in my Kyle history, and you have told me this before, and it's really cool. Grumpy
Kyle
knows. Who wants to guess?
He's not allowed.
Eternal Grammy says it's over the leg bolts, right?
It is over the leg bolts, yes.
Dig says reinforcement for the legs.
No.
No. Can I call you Dig, by the way? Is that appropriate? Or do I have to say digeritome? Digeritome? I just have been calling you Dig, and then I'm like, oh, but it was a sure with a period. That means, like, I guess. I'll call you whatever you want me to
M.
call
Kunzelman wins the prize.
Yes, M. Kunzelman.
Yay!
Yeah, that's exactly what that's for. That's there to keep people from less than savory characters from opening up or removing a leg bolt and then fishing a wire hanger or something inside to try and wiggle the coin switch to get a free game. That's exactly what that's for.
That's cool. That's awesome. Anti-thief.
Yeah, it's well, and yeah.
Dig. Oh.
People will try to steal and get free things as much as they possibly can.
Dig is better, yeah? Dig. Anti-theft device, yeah. That's great. So everyone, if you have any questions for Kyle about what you're working on, or want to say in the chat what games you are working on, and we'll kind of talk about them too, that would be great. Kyle is all yours.
Steve, get to come in while I go wash my hands.
Just kidding.
Everyone wants to see Steve, not
Steve
me.
is all yours. Let's see Midge. Oh, yeah. Yay. Look, and he has a surf champ / creature / garbage pail shirt. It matches. That's awesome. Wait, do you have a mic? Or are they listening to Kyle P in the bathroom?
No, I was washing my hands.
Nice. Dig like the first part of digital. Dig. Rhymes with her. Digger.
Why are we using that camera?
Roddy. Digerati.
It's like a Maserati, but different.
Digerati? That's what I needed? Is that right? Digerati? Look at that beard. Yes, Midge has epic beard power.
Look how crooked I am. Wait, hold on.
I know, that's why I had the other camera. It was a nice, beautiful close-up of your face.
No one wants to see that. That's better.
Digeratium.
Digerati-ohm. Yep. Can we wire up that plate over leg bolts to line voltage? Yeah, good idea. That's a great idea.
Digerati. Altered B seats.
Yeah, I guess if someone used a long enough leg bolt, you would get line voltage to the leg, and then you could have an aggressive pinball machine. Jeez.
None of that Swedish stuff, right?
Swedish stuff?
They do their legs. On the legs.
No, I was.
Swedish football players.
Do they?
Like that.
I'm getting learned.
I like that. I mean, that's a good move. I like it when I like the kicks, you know.
Jimmy says he needs a shaker motor for Metallica.
I can send you one. You do need that, actually. That's a great upgrade. Do you have hardwood floors where that game is sitting? Because I tell you, when I brought a game into my house with a shaker motor on the hardwood floors, it made the house feel like it was going to shake apart. That also might just be TNA, so.
Probably. So cool. Does anyone have any other questions for
That's Jimmy.
Kyle?
No one wants to talk to me.
They're just smitten by seeing Midge on camera.
The shaker motor is turned up too high, always.
All right.
Rob. So I've done a ton of board work on this show. It was just many episodes ago. I think sometimes when I was doing like more advanced soldering for more advanced folk, I think we were working on a lot of System 7 and System 6 computers. I think there was like a few months where like I only worked on Williams computers, it seemed like. So I would look up videos for Time Warp or Jungle Lord. I think I covered both, but I do want to do that again. And maybe do like a dedicated soldering for Soldering 102 sort of a thing, you know, or Board Work 101. But I've done it a few times on this show. So Emoto is actually coming to town next week, and we are going to film some more concise videos. Nothing to that like scale, you know. But I would like to do a basic, more soldering stuff with better production than live cam, you know.
Did you see Pinball Jim's question?
No.
Does Gorgar and the displays in the game is not working? The display in the game is not working.
If the displays aren't working, check your...
It's got GI working, though.
Oh, well, so your game might not be booting up. If the GI's working and all you notice are the displays not working, do you have feature lights? Because if your feature lights aren't on, the computer's probably not running. Most people don't notice the feature lights. They just see no displays and they think, oh, the displays are out. But that could definitely be a symptom of the computer not running, especially on that era of a game. K-Dog, how do I fix my bow and arrow?
I already answered him. You would and catgut.
Yeah. No, you just got to watch this and you'll learn something here and there.
He always watches the show.
You gotta watch this.
Pinball Peanut got a Hako 301 desoldering gun.
Nice.
And mine is blown.
Good for you. That's fantastic.
Congrats.
It's the greatest tool.
Can you put a shaker motor in older games like Black Knight 2000 and Hardbody?
I'm saying no, but there's nothing available.
I think there is a kit. There's like an aftermarket kit someone made to like do that on older games. And I think they run them off of like flash lamp signals or something. I don't know. The answer is like you can totally do anything, but I've never installed one of those things, and I don't know how reliable they are, what they actually do. So it's a rotten dog
Jim
board.
Said, yeah, rotten dog board.
Well, but are the feature lights going though? Because if the program is running, you should see all of the inserts light up and do their light show. So if the inserts are lighting up and the displays aren't working, that would tell me that the computer is running the program. And what you would need to do is the first thing I would check for are the correct voltages on the displays. The high voltage circuit can go out, and yeah, that's what you're generally missing when the displays go out, is you're missing one of the high voltage circuits. So I'm assuming when you say it's a rotten dog board, you're saying it's a rotten dog computer driver board. Is the power supply updated, or is it original?
And TNT also said you have to be careful you don't blow up that board too.
It's so easy to blow up all that old stuff. I tried to install a shaker and bow and arrow. Oh man, dude, that's the only game that it's not compatible with. That would be weird. I guess you could hook it up to the score motor, a switch on the score motor, like on the impulse cam, and every time it went around, it could go like, rum, 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 but you'd be getting a lot of shake.
For some reason, I lost all of our little updates widget, but Pin Daddy, thanks for resubscribing. 16 months. I think Pin Daddy is our top subscriber, actually.
Todd is telling the truth here. The old System 3 through 6 and even 7 high voltage circuits are pretty reliable, but definitely capacitors can go dry. I still have a feeling, Pinball Jim, that your program might not be running, and that is why your displays aren't working. But that's definitely one thing you need to But yeah, I mean, the other thing too is like there could be all sorts of issues with displays. It goes pretty deep, and they can be difficult to pretty difficult to diagnose unless you're pretty apt at diagnosing these problems. So. Rotten Dog boards have bad sound issues. Yes, they absolutely do. Rotten Dog boards have a lot of issues a lot of the time. The System 11 boards had really notorious sound issues.
Oh, thank you, Rob. Appreciate it. I hope you used the code.
Yeah, thanks for ordering from us.
Of course, got up to that threshold. Used the code.
I appreciate that the Rotten Dog boards exist because they fill a huge hole for like certain things that. Whoops! I noticed something was unplugged. Sorry, y'all. Where boards are not available, but the design on a lot of them, they took a lot of liberties that can cause problems in some games. Like, I think it's insane that the Rotten Dog board will just like not work on a lot of Black Knights. It's very weird. I think they designed the 5101 RAM out of the Rotten Dog board, but there must be something really important that Black Knight uses that 5101 for that they weren't accounting for. I don't know. It's complicated. That being said, there are a lot of new boards on the market, which is really, really refreshing. People such as a fellow that goes by a Pinball Basement. He's actually working on reproducing.
Don't show him. Got any rush strategy, Kyle?
No.
Their launch party's tonight, and he hasn't played it yet. Poison. Rush strategy.
No. You know what I like to
Rush?
do in Rush?
Oh yeah, it's right there. You played Rush.
Yeah, I like to just make some cool noise, man. I like trying to collect the records because I like doing 1, 2, 3. I can understand that rule. It's also pretty fun to. I mean, I don't know. No, really, I have zero Rush strategy. I have no idea, but have fun. It's a very fun game. Shoot the pyramid. Yeah, that's the best advice. Shoot the pyramid. Shoot the pyramid. It's a Stargate joke if none of y'all have done that. Pinball Peanut. Black Knight was only System 7. There were some games that spanned multiple systems. The most notable one would be Flash. There were lots of System 3. There were lots of System 4 and 6 Flashes. But Black Knight was one of the first System 7 games. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm right on that one. So anything is better than Rotten Dog boards. Well, I almost share that opinion, but at the same time, those boards have saved many, 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 many pinball machines. So, yeah, Pinball Gym. Yeah, take a look. Just again, make sure the computer is running. Make sure that all of the lights are going. And if your game was set to free play, it should be able to start even without the displays. If your game has feature lights or the inserts flashing and you can start a game, then it's running. If not, it could be screwed up. He called me Kylie. I actually appreciate that. I like Kylie Minogue a lot. She's rad. Ordered the ball deflector from Marco for the Phantom of the Opera. Broke after 10 to 15 plays. Huh. Wait, so the one you ordered from us broke? Please let me know. I'm curious. I remember getting that made a couple years ago. It should not be something that would break after that few games set.
Yeah, Rilla Pinball, shoot Kyle an email at kyle@marcopinball.com with more details on that so he can look deeper into the problem as well.
I'm going to go work on a Phantom of the Opera this weekend that's all original and wonderful. I'll take a look at all that. But yeah, yes, huh? Okay, yeah, please send me some pictures and I'll get you a new one and make it right and we'll figure it out. So.
Broke at the mount. That's weird, right? Do you see Rob's question? Rob has a column of lamps out on Black Knight. What's the best method for debugging?
I don't know. I mean, the first thing I would do, the simplest thing to do would be to replace the lamp column driver. That's where I would start. But But see, that's also not diagnosing the problem, right? Make sure that your connectors are good, right? Start there. Make sure that the connectors are good. Make sure you've got a good connection on the board. The System 7 boards were really Williams always cut the meniscus of the solder and the header pin like way too close. So they're very commonly, it's very easy to get cracked solder. So one thing I would recommend first is like taking that board out, using some magnification and look at all of those connections and reflow the solder if needed. Todd is right. Yeah, reheat all the header pins. Sometimes it's even worth removing the solder and putting new stuff in. The thing is like they would just always cut them way too short. So if that hasn't already been done and you're using a stock board, that would absolutely be step one. The next step, I mean, it's very easy and cheap to replace the driver. Look for burnt components. Get in there and take a look. If you have confirmed that you've got good connection from the header, from the plug, and even all the circuitry looks okay, then you might need to bust out a logic probe and see if you're getting signals. But it's probably going to be something similar than that. Have you done a bunch of work to that game yet? Maybe it's just old and sad.
Is this one?
Hello, Kyle. Would you recommend having capacitors on the end of stroke switch on the Surf Champ to prevent the spark? No, they do. I mean, well, first off, thank you for joining us from the
from France.
Beautiful south of France.
Do you watch RB Flip? We love them.
I would, if it is something that would make you happy, I would say yes. That would absolutely reduce the amount of spark on the end of stroke switch. But I feel with good care and proper installation and spacing, they will last a very long time without needing to install a capacitor. So, would it hurt anything? No. Would it be a good thing? Yeah. Would I do it for my own game or a customer's game? Probably not, just because it is a pretty sturdy system how it is. So, what Frank from France was asking, if you remember on the Williams System 11 flippers that we've worked on prior, Williams put a big capacitor across the leads of the end of stroke switch. Actually, yeah, you're right. You know what? I'm sorry. I totally forgot. Grumpy's right. This is an AC flipper. It would not do anything. My bad. I didn't even think about that. Gottlieb used alternating current to run all of their solenoids. The capacitor would not do anything unless you rectified the AC coming in and then made them DC flippers, but at that point, you're going too far. I think the original system is actually very well designed, and it's not necessary to do any of that. Thank you, David. I was thinking about that for a second, and I was like, no. Anyways, getting back to it, in the DC system that Williams used for their 50-volt flippers, there's a big capacitor that was attached across the leads of the end-of-stroke switch, and that would help prevent or reduce the amount of spark when the end-of-stroke switch would open and that would keep them from pitting and make them last a bit longer before they would really start to degrade. So, yeah, I'm sorry. So you can take that information for almost every other game, just nothing that uses an AC coil or AC flipper. That's what made Williams games really exciting, though. Williams rectified most of their coils in their electromechanical games, and they're just so zippy. They're so fast. Not saying that the Gottlieb ones aren't. The Gottlieb flippers and coils really hit like a freight truck, not like the nice, katana like some of those Williams games would. So, yeah, AC. These games were really overbuilt. They're very complicated, and honestly, Gottlieb games are pretty difficult to service compared to Williams or Bally games, just because they are so overbuilt at some time, in my opinion. But they're very gratifying, and the mechanisms really do not wear out that often. So they're really wonderful. I just wish they were a little easier to service. Mostly the score motors, actually. That's the thing that I really don't like on Gottlieb games, is that the score motors are a giant pain in the butt. And I'll explain that when we look at the game a little bit more another time. So, yeah. Don't apologize for asking a question. That's a good question. That was a very good question. I just wish I would have remembered about the alternating current part of it before I went into a long answer. That's a very good question. And I'm glad that you're new to restoring your flipper games. This is a neat one. Maybe you'll find a French game one day. There are many. Yeah, there's not many of them here, but there were many. No, Rissell was Spanish. It was, what was the French company? It was Rally. Rally made pinball machines. Rally was a really innovative pinball company from France in the 60s and 70s. There was a they made electromechanical games that used Nixie tubes for displays. Nixie tubes are really neat. Look them up. Nixi. And they also had solid-state sounds in electromechanical games. My first exposure was at the wonderful Pacific Pinball Museum in Alameda, California, and they had a Rally West Club pinball machine. Really neat French game. It's gorgeous. They're the most beautiful games. We've got 9 more minutes.
Did you get Transmission's question? Oh,
no.
Thank you, Grumpy, for tagging or posting the Fun with Pinball URL. Everyone should definitely click on that if you have any EMs you're working on or just want to learn more about electromechanical games or how to read schematics, that is a great place to do it. It's a completely free clinic. They will help you fix your games, or you can just watch and learn like you do when we go to it. So check out Fun with Pinball, their EM Pinball online repair clinic.
But all those guys in that EM repair clinic are much better informed and way smarter than I am about this stuff. So if you really, really, really want to get like concise, good information, that is an awesome class to sit through. I know the procedures and I can get these things working, but man, the coaches in that class are just very, very, they're very smart.
Grumpy EM Doctor is one of them.
Yep. I feel like okay. Transmission Arcade, no, you cannot. If they're starting to get weak after playing, I mean, you could have some coils that are overheating and starting to swell, and those coils that are overheating could be to poorly adjusted end of stroke switches or dirty end of stroke switches. Indiana Jones is probably just a coil starting to get hot and swollen, and that's just because that game has some really powerful coils because the game is really long and needs powerful coils to get up those shots. Ice-Ski-Doo. Yes, I have looked. Absolutely, I did. I have not had time to actually sit down and try to think of something to help you because I barely have enough time to do anything at work. So I was very busy this week. But I really do want to try and fix your problem. Colin, I'm hydrating on the last of my juice. I do have an email address. It is my name, Kyle, at marcopinball.com. And you can email me, but like I said to Ice-Ski-Doo, sometimes it is hard for me to answer non-business related emails in a quick fashion, so I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay, look, we're almost done. So let's look for someone to raid, because I have to drive to Savannah, and if I get there in good time, I get to have dinner. And if I don't get there in good time, I don't get dinner, and I will starve. So.
Oh, you should just get dinner on the way.
Nah, I don't want fast food. That's gross. Everything in Savannah closes so early, though. I don't get it. They're a college town full of a bunch of drunk people, and everything closes at like 9 o'clock.
All right, let's see.
We appreciate you for coming and watching this and me talking. So thank you guys for showing up.
right? I'm saying that one right? Boise, right?
Yep.
We've
Boise,
been through
like the
this
city.
before too. I know. I'm taking notes now.
Really?
I got
Oh my God. Hey, you know what, y'all? Really quick, if there's anything simple
Altered PC.
that you guys want, like a good, like, concise video tutorial filmed of,
Laser low.
send us an email. Emoto and I are going to film like a couple like videos of like product installations or little things here and there next week. And for instance, we're going to do like a really good, well-shot Yopsicle installation. If there's anything you want like a little tutorial on, send us suggestions because we can digest it for like 3 days before we start working on it maybe.
Yeah, send it to marcotv@marcopinball.com. Sorry, I did not mean to do that in all caps. I just have caps lock.
You did almost all of it in caps.
Rilla Pinball, yeah, come by our booth. We will have the Stern Marco Fun booth. Fun as in fun billiards and game room superstore.
Yeah.
Can't
Good old
miss
Craig.
us.
Looking forward to meeting
And
you
Frank,
as well.
Thanks for being your first time on the show. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you.
How can you do a video? How to cheat at pinball? Ooh.
Yeah, how to cheat at pinball.
Dirty.
Don't play it because it just will beat you all the time. Todd loves the Yopsicle too. Great. It's such a great product.
You should just come to Texas on your own as a pinball enthusiast, and we will high five and be excited that we're all there together.
That's right. There's going to be wonderful amount of Shiner Bucks that we can all enjoy. Delicious Texas beer. But yeah, okay. Who are we gonna raid? Are we gonna raid Laserlos? You said.
Oh yeah. Laserlos is not playing pinball. Sorry, I got distracted by.
Yeah, come on. Got 4 minutes before I gotta throw all this stuff in my car and.
Oh no.
Jump in my little GTI and fly.
But is that how it goes? Doodlebug is such a great game.
Oh, Doodlebug is great.
From one EM to the next. It seems very appropriate, right?
Yes. Grumpy EM Doctor taught me how to say
head
Boise.
To the Bay Area. Maybe at Free Gold Watch.
My old home. It's definitely at Free Gold Watch because I think that Doodlebug is David's. Grumpy EM Doctors.
1971. Is this your game, David?
Or maybe it might be Matt's. I think Matt might have bought it because he liked David's so much. It's such a great game. Thanks for joining us, Dragger. Thanks for...
Boise. Yeah, see, I got it right. Haha.
Boise.
Boise.
With a Z.
Thanks.
Z sound.
No, I want it to be a Boise.
No, it's not.
The Sea of
It's
Boys.
Boise, Idaho, with a Z sound. You don't say Boise.
Boise.
Boise. I don't like that. It doesn't sound right. Sorry. I'm going to change the name now. It's
Oh, yeah, there's no D. I don't know why I added a D.
just like it's not Beaufort, South Carolina. It's Beaufort.
That's just because North Carolina already had Beaufort, and they were like, we got to.
Yeah, but there's like a million Springfields or Columbias.
Boise. Yeah, that's what I wrote. That's exactly what I wrote.
Beauregard.
I know, Manu's on. I have him
Americans.
preloaded. We're going to join Manu and check out some Doodlebug.
Yeah, Doodlebug rules. And also,
And it's Matt's. Okay, cool.
I think as
awesome.
all the Americans in the chat, please learn the pronunciations of French words because we butcher the French language as Americans, and it's not fair when people say Versailles or Beaufort. No, it's Beaufort and Versailles. It's Hugie, not Huger. I made that mistake. Huger.
Nice.
Huger. Not
Thank you
Huger.
so much for the great show. We
Huger.
will see you next week. Doing some more stepper unit stuff with Surf Champ. It should be great.
We'll fix it up.
You.
It's Yuji. Yeah.
He's doing the H right.
Good night,
Gotten on that
Pinball
Yuji
Jam.
street.
Good night, everybody.
Goodbye,
on Twitch,
everyone.
Stick around to throw a bunch of emotes in Mystery Pinball Theater 3000's stream. All right. Oh, I should play some surf music.